Hey. Sorry about the wait. Sorry about the wait. I am actually here. I'm gonna take these stupid things off my head right now. What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. It's your boy Fury here. And yeah, I go. I was trying to pipe in some audio that I did from a recording that I just finished not so long ago, and I didn't want to upload it, so I wanted to play it back for everybody, but it seems like the audio's not feeding in well, so I have to set that up a different way later on. But here we go, man. Here we go. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. And I admit that, life has been just busy. It's been really busy. And given the fact that I can't actually go live and show you guys just how busy I am for the fact that I don't have 1,000 subs. YouTube a long time ago took away the fact that if you have under 1,000 subs, you can't do live streams from your mobile phone, which is just a mind fuck on its own. And then on top of that, when it comes to fair use, they beat up on smaller content creators than they do of big content creators. They throw the book at a small content creator, but the big ones, nah, not so much. And I'm just ain't at that point yet. So we here today, and I can tell you just yesterday. How can I say this? The fact that I had to be there at a scene and I had to actually help a family. I mean, basically, we had to confirm what they already knew. I mean, some people it didn't register yet, but a guy, a patient's ex-husband, her father, and their children came to a scene because they haven't seen the woman. They haven't seen the patient, which was a female, in like almost 2 weeks. They dropped off food at her doorstep at Thanksgiving Day. They've been trying to call because there's a whole court dispute going on right now about the custody of the kids and all this other stuff. And the father, I believe, has the custody of the children. But anyway, they didn't hear from her. They heard from her on the phone, but they didn't see her in like weeks, like almost 2 weeks. They dropped her food Thursday, this past Thanksgiving. They came back yesterday. That food was still there. Asked the landlord. Let me tell you this, y'all. The landlord. They asked the landlord to open the door. She's not answering. We haven't seen her in days. What's going on here? I don't want to break down the door. So, guess what the man had to do? The man, the former spouse, got help from the neighbors, climbed into the open window of her apartment to find her deceased for quite some days. And she was blue in the face. This was blue. She was blue in the face, and her hand with the well done nails, with the extensions on them, well crafted. That hand was the lividity and the decomp done set in so much. Sorry, my elbows actually. Um, and it was just the decomp. The only thing that slowed it down and nobody smelled anything just yet is because the ambient temperatures of the open window. So this is what I had to deal with, y'all. This is part of what I had to deal with. And then working on Thanksgiving Day, let me tell you what else I had to deal with. I had to deal with the fact that we had a 92-year-old patient that my paramedics that came to help me out put him on the EKG machine just to find out that this dude was pretty much going through what we was like the stages of a heart attack, basically. And he had fluid in his lungs, and he had a fever of 101 approaching 2. Okay? So, what is wrong with my bandwidth? Give me a second, y'all. Alright, so it's gone through. Alright. So, elderly man, 92 years old, fluid in his lungs, satin low, blood pressure's decent. Like satin, when I say satin, blood saturation, your oxygen saturation actually wasn't that bad, but he had a lot of fluid in his lung, and the guy had a respiratory rate of how can we say about 50, 40, somewhere between 40 and 50. The average human respiratory normal adult should be between 12 to 20 breaths per minute. Okay? This man was at, Jesus Christ, he was at like 40 something, 92 years old. So imagine a 92-year-old heart with that much stress on it. This man could barely breathe. He was demented, and the only way to keep him alive, basically, hopefully, we was able to get him to the hospital, but he needed to be ventilated to breathe because he was suffering. And his family decided not to do that. They would rather sign a DNI, knowing that the man clearly has been showing signs that he possibly has Charlie 19. You know what that is. Pandemic. We know he possibly had it, but he breathing terribly, and his heart was gonna give out on him if he didn't get proper oxygen into the system. We tried putting CPAP on his face. We tried oxygen, all these other things like by the non-rebreather, the cannula. We tried all that, and it just wasn't going well. But so the paramedics get standing order, and they're like, okay, we got to to help him breathe better before his heart give out on him because of the stress. 92-year-old heart beating at damn near 50 beats per minute. That's not good. That's not even good for a healthy adult to be breathing that much. So his family decided, no, we're not, because the daughters were like, no, we're not doing the intubation because our brother got put on. We're not putting on a ventilator because our brother got put on a ventilator and he died. I was like, what happened to your brother? He had COVID. And I'm like, he had COVID. And you think the ventilation killed him? No, the advanced stage of COVID, that the fact that he was at the point where he needed ventilation. He was gonna die. He probably was gonna die. That kept him alive longer. So okay, the paramedics was trying to convince. I and my partner was trying to convince, but they didn't want to go with it. So we got him to the closest hospital. Don't know his fate. But see, this is the PD. He hears somebody coming in the gate. But this is what we deal with on a regular basis when it comes to people with their misinformation. Yep, misinformation about the pandemic. Everybody is an expert online, and I just I had a person who was subscribed to me already before. He's no longer subscribed to me, I believe. But anyway, he had radical views on it. He had difference in opinion than me. But this man happened to have told me in my comment section the only reason he thinks I'm delusional for believing and keeping myself protected, believing and keeping myself protected. And people don't want to do that. But you know what my problem is with a lot of people, especially in the black community, who want to be anti this? It's always the most vocal ones who are the most vocal about you, about this, are the ones who are the unhealthiest. That's my problem. And then you, as a known, your content is about you fighting addictions of alcoholism, but yet you are a health expert when it comes to telling people what to do. And I shouldn't have got that. You think masks, this is the type of person that believes masks don't work, uh, vaccination, blah, 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 this, that, and the fourth. And done. I'm done wasting my energy talking to people like this for the simple fact. Oh, somebody's at the door. Okay, okay, all right, all right. Excuse me, y'all. I'll be right back. Hold on. Hold on. Alright, I'm so sorry that happened, people. But family came by. Dog's acting like guard dog. Petey, he looking right at me like, yeah, I know you talking about me. But alright. So my whole stance on the situation, like I was saying, is I am tired of I'm wasting my energy. You can believe what you want. I'm not here to tell people what to do. That's not my type of channel. So I got offended over the fact that you coming to my channel and telling me what to do with my life. And I'm telling you why I'm doing what I need to do with my life. You focus on what you want to do with your life. Leave me the fuck alone. Hey, what's going on, AO? Yeah, misinformation is everywhere. And what I was about to say is that since Charlie 19 is a form of SARS, which is a virus that's been around for quite some time, they were working on vaccinations for it. So when a more deadlier strain of SARS came about, which is why we got the pandemic, they dusted that off, accelerated it back. And you know what's so funny? People want to attack one another about their views on the vaccination, but they're not attacking the fact that we had a vaccination for SARS in existence for quite some time. Probably was done, probably needed to dust some testing off of it, but places like the FDA and many other places around the world, around different countries and governments, don't want to put stuff out like that because the biggest drug dealers in the world are those who control medication, food and drug administration. And let's be honest, there's no money off the comeback. I'm saying shit that you probably have heard in your life many times over, different sources. I'm not taking credit for anything. I'm not be like, okay, I'm right. I'm not one of these dumbass Negroes that be like, okay, I'll watch somebody put a magnet, get a vaccination, put a magnet on an arm and they're attracted. Fuck out of here. Y'all listen to TikTokers over dumb shit like this? Anybody is confirmation bias. Anybody that'll tell you something that you figured was true, anybody that come along and make you believe any truth that it's an inkling of it is true, you guys will jump on it because you rather be right than do right. And I say that shit all the time. So many people would rather be right than do right. And doing right doesn't mean doing what I'm doing right by their selves. You do the due diligence. You go, you research it, you die on that hill if you want to. Now, I ain't talking about from being sickness. I'm just saying you stand in what you believe in and you stand for what you believe in. Don't stand for what others believe in. Because I implore people to please just find out what works best for you. Get a full workup. Get doctors. Get that done. You know why? Because people have different allergies. People have sicknesses that they're not even aware of. Okay, I had high enzymes in my liver due to an overabundance of protein. And I didn't even know that. And I was wondering why I kept feeling funny in certain ways about it, like on my side, because I had that. Did I know that? No. I just happened to be like, you know what? Let me go to the doctor, not for that, but let me get my blood work done. You know? So that's the first thing they even pushed me to do. I had work. I'm still, just before I became, joined EMS, I was still housekeeping and I just like, yo, my foot hurt. Like, one day I hit my foot. I hit my foot, the garbage cart that I used to push partially ran over the side of my left foot. And I was like, ow, ow. All right. And then it just started getting worse. It started getting worse. And I'm like, yo, today, and I came in one night because I was still working overnight, and I'm like, yo, my boss was like, you all right? I think I can manage. I'll be all right. See, why you like? So later on through that night, like maybe an hour into the shift, I just couldn't put weight on it no more. And they was like, yo, did you know that it was black and blue like this? I'm like, I had no idea where this come from. It wasn't like this early in the day. I wasn't even paying attention to it. So, the doctor in the ER was like, "Yo, this don't look good." So he's like, "I need you." He's like, "You have a cyst on the top near you, between your pinky toe and the toe next to it." And I'm like, holy shit, what is going on here? So he's like, you know what? You going home. You going home. You're going to follow up with corporate care tomorrow morning immediately. They go in there. It ruptured through the night. The cyst ruptured. They took a sample of that. And I get a call from the guy who is pretty much doctor to my brother, my sister, my brother, my mom, and me. And he was like, "Hey, how you doing, Kareem?" He was like, "Hey, it's Doctor So and So. You remember me, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, because he did my check in when I first got hired at the hospital. He did my workup." He's like, "You have MRSA." I was like, I have what?" He's like, "You have MRSA in your foot. The sample came back. You have MRSA in your foot." And the first thing I could think of is my brother-in-law's niece dying of it in her intestines because the hospitals have they did not diagnose her properly. They just said, "Oh yeah, well here's some pain to get rid of this. You're gonna go home." She was all this time she was getting worse and worse on the inside until she couldn't take it no more. And she died on the table. So I implore people to stop being their own fucking doctors. Stop listening to people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And if you feel a certain way, go get checked out. And if that person tells you you're fine and you still continue to feel somebody a different way, you urge them to do their goddamn job. I want more workups. Or I'm going elsewhere, do that. A lot of people just don't want to deal with it. Oh, yeah, everybody's lying to me. So there's some people who might not give a shit about you. And see, as black people, when it comes to medical care, it's even been proved in the EMS field that there's people don't take us serious when we're sick. And it's the fact that, and I get why, working EMS, I understand why, because most of the black people that we deal with here in the city are drug addicts. Drug addicts. A lot of them are, and a lot of them could be in that condition because of drugs. A lot of them could be in because they're not taking care of themselves. But we gotta work them up. We got to stop that old school mentality, and that's what we've been doing. And there's been people that have legit issues that need to be checked out. But taking you to the hospital, me and the paramedics stabilizing you and getting you to the hospital, that is only a half step. You have to follow up with yourself and make sure you get on it. But I know it's hard for a lot of drug and alcohol addicted, homeless black people to take care of their health. First off, they ain't got money for medications. They got to run through, they're only giving that medication preemptively, or they just don't have the money for it, like I said. So a lot of them go right back to doing what they were doing like we expect them to most of the time. Because a lot of them ain't gonna take care of their health. A lot of them, the way the EMS system works here is that in a lot of places, it's like a revolving door policy. Hell, they don't give a shit. Like there's one guy that I know. I first got I first had as a patient when because his father lives in Hoboken, neighboring city on the other side. His father lived there. He'd be around there. This guy's a drug addict. He's a heroin addict. He's wheelchair bound. His legs are like basically gangrene and decaying. It's like this. All right. So he can barely walk. He just shitting on himself. He's a mess. Flies. It's just disgusting. Okay. And I can tell you stories, but I can't tell you names. But anyway, didn't see him in quite some time. Now he's here in Jersey City, and when I saw him, I thought they cut one of his legs off because of the infection. He still had the other leg, and he barely did it, but he's still doing drugs, falling out his wheelchair, one leg. So 2 weeks ago, I'm getting up, going to move my vehicle off of one of the main streets before the sweeper come at 9 o'clock, and I see him, and the second leg is gone, but he's still out here doing the same thing. I was like, yo, I was like, Mr. So and so. He's like, who are you? I was like, yo, I'm an EMT, man. You probably don't recognize me, but I've had you a few times. I'm like, yo, what happened? When they took your second leg? He was like, man, they took that about 17 days ago, man. They put him right back out there. He's still in a wheelchair. He's legless, still getting high. Bro, you can't save everyone. You can make sure that you can make sure that they get to the hospital alive. You can make sure they get to the hospital alive. But you can't save everyone. Unfortunately, you can't. And this is where I'm at right now at the job. So forgive me if I haven't been on for a long time because I'm still dealing with. I deal with a lot of stuff every day. I work about 50 hours a week, somewhere between 40 to 50 hours a week. So they can't overcome them. You're absolutely right. A lot of them cannot overcome the addictions, and the system's not set up to help them with it. It took them. I don't know. I had a regular who was about almost pushing 7 years old. Can barely walk. Uh, barely walk. His circulation and everything. The infection in his legs, pain all the time. It finally took them. I don't know how many years of him being out in the street for them to deem him unfit to be out on the street homeless. For them to pay and put him in a home. Not only did they put him in a home, they amputated both his legs. It took him, I don't know how many years for him to get decrepit where to the fact that he could have been saved a long time ago. And I'm like, yeah, I understand there's some people that are beyond approach or beyond redemption, but you can't damn those who are redeemable for that. For that. You give people enough rope. This is how it should be with addiction. You give people enough rope to hang themselves with. Because there's people out there legitimately are at a point where they can be saved if intervention proved itself worthy enough. But then we have families that don't even give a shit. Case in point, you say, yeah, especially heroin. Yes, I was about to talk about that too. Heroin is a bitch. But before I get into that, I have a family that live right down the street from me. And it's a matriarchal family. Matriarchal. The one boy in the family went the worst. And even though we had the mother of, like, the grandmother is there at the house, her daughter is out there on the street. She about to twig herself, but her daughters aren't. Her daughters are doing well, but her daughters are doing well. They like my age, a little bit younger. But the son, man, please. He I don't know if he had mental issues that went along with it, but he ended up being homeless, bad feet. He was only like 30, I say 37, 38 years old. He's dead now. I didn't even realize he died. He was living out on the bench, right down the street from his own family. I don't know if he was beyond reproach. I don't know if it was just mental factors that made him that way. But a matriarchal family turned their back on their own black son. Just let him decree to that. And then he ended up dying in a home or something, or I don't know what happened. But to find out he was dead that whole time, I was like, where has he been? They just was like, swept it right under the rug, just like that. Just like that. And then I have another regular that I grew up with. The man's like 45, 46 years old. 47, I believe. 47, I'm sorry, 47. Rest of his family are doing well, have children that's doing well. And I saw his sister at a game, and she was like, yo, I was like, she's like, so this what you doing now? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I've ran into your brother a few times out there. She gave me that look like. And he got everybody else doing well. He got a family. We all good. And he wants to be the one that does that. So there's instances where they turn your back on you. There's instances when they try to help you and you just keep fucking shitting where you just kept just basically spitting in the face of those of your family. I get it. After a while, just like sometimes you just be like, there's nothing I can do. I've had distant family have to do that to a loved one. I've had neighbors who had to do that to a loved one. And you were mentioning AL heroin. Heroin is a beast. Heroin is one of the hardest drugs to kick. Like really hard to kick. A lot of people I know who even like I got 78-year-old heroin addicts out there. I got 60-something-year-old heroin addicts out there. Hell, I got stuff people in their fucking mid to late 20s out there regularly doing it. I could tell you one day I was walking my dogs, sorry, down to the park, right down the street. And there's a church right there with a side step that goes down the side steps. And I mean, it's like a gate, but you can squeeze in and you can hop over it. I'm walking and stuff, and I'm looking in the corner of my eye down to my lower right. Dude down there smoking crack. This guy had to be about in his late 20s. Hispanic dude, just smoking the crack pipe. So I'm like, bruh. I was like, I walk the dogs, come back up, take the same path up that I take down. Guess what he's doing this time? Guess what he's doing? Heroin right into his arm. Speedballing. This is what I do it. So speedballing. And then a use of fentanyl has been increasing. So when you got like people who look like they're doped up, but they're and stuff, and like either it's like I'm like, bro, they lacing a lot of stuff with different things. People think it's just PCP and stuff, and a lot of people think it's fentanyl, but PCP has a distinct smell to it that I know the difference now from being out there. I kid you not. I even had a black male, late 50s, hole in his throat from cancer, still doing hardcore drugs. You wondering why he got that hole in his throat, right? You're wondering why he got that hole in his throat. Doing drugs like that. Trying to get him air, trying to suction that out, which is, oh. Anyway, he on there and he just, you see, this is my problem I have. These are the type of people, not the addiction. My problem is these are the type of people who are not at their healthiest, not at their mentally healthiest. But these are the type of people telling me that I shouldn't get vaccinated. These people tell me that. People, and you know what's so fucked up about it? What makes me mad? It ain't the fact that they're telling me not to get vaccinated. You motherfuckers who tell me that ignore the fact of what I do for a living. Okay? I get coughed on every day. I just told you about minutes ago that I had a 92-year-old patient who probably had COVID, 102 fever, respiratory rate was off the chart, and on top of that, fluid in the lungs. A lot of fluid in his lungs. Needed ventilation. Family refused. We were like, okay, fine. We're going to get to the hospital as soon as we can, but just know, you sign this, knowing that if something happened to him and he loses consciousness and he goes into cardiac arrest, this is on you because your family, you chose that, okay? So, I get coughed on. The dudes want to keep the mask on his face. He's all that. And you wondering why I decided to get jabbed. You fuckers y'all can work from home. Y'all can stay away from people. Y'all can choose this. Y'all can choose that for your life. I want to live, damn it. Okay? And as healthy as I am, I can't take chances like that. And a lot of people don't get that. A Like I said, you rather just be right rather than just let me do right by me. You just want to be right. So, like I'm saying, one of my former subscribers said he thinks I'm delusional and he's just monitoring me. Like, I'm like, yo, I don't need you to monitor me. I'm still here. I'm still good. All right. I didn't catch any side effects from anything. I'm not sick. I ain't get all this stuff. What do you think is a Trojan horse? You motherfuckers, if you spent that much effort believing in a lot of this shit that I think is bullshit, a lot of it has been proven to be bullshit. If you spent so much effort actually doing research and stuff and doing things right by you or channeling your energy elsewhere, you might kick that alcohol addiction you got. But don't sit here and you do not tell me what I'm doing is crazy and you ignore the fact of what I do for a living. People, they ignore me so much. Ignore what I do for a living so much. And it's frustrating. And you said Moderna gang, yeah. I'm a Moderna gang myself. Yep, definitely for sure. And this ain't this. We don't have to sit here and we don't have to push like, yes, get the shot, get the no. I'm just telling you, yo, if you're gonna look, let me do me, you do you. Stay the fuck off my channel. If you don't believe in what I believe in. I'm damn sure I ain't gonna sit there and get frustrated sitting in your car, going by rallies and telling people who don't believe in this. And I look at these rallies and you see, I'm like, it's like, that's it. From what I be hearing on the social media, I would think it was like millions of people going nuts over this stuff and standing there. So here it's like sporadic amounts of people there, but that's the hill you want to die on. Go ahead, by all means. Like I said, I'm not here for that. Okay, just checking scores of this game. Oh, it's the third quarter. Okay. All right. So that's basically how I feel about that. And forgive me if I've been away for a long time, but that's what I've been up to. I've been like basically just working harder and stuff. And I'm be honest with you, it hasn't been. I don't know. People get back. Is it either people get vaccinated, or there's just a lot of people who have maybe it's settled, but there's still people getting sick over COVID. But now a lot of them, it isn't an end or be all for a lot of them. And they even try to bring up the fact that, oh, well, see, people with vaccinations are still getting sick. And I'm like, if you don't shut the fuck up about that, you know why I'm saying shut the fuck up about it? Because people who get flu shots still can catch the flu. It's been like that for God knows how long. Vaccinations are not cures. They're fail safes, basically, for those who it gives you a fighting chance. If you have a healthy immune system, you can't be like, okay, I'm gonna go get a vaccination in my arm, but I'm gonna go fuck my kidneys up drinking every day, or I'm gonna go put poison and do heroin. Okay, you know, people with who got the jab in their arm, who get the jab, people who get the jab and who live a healthy lifestyle probably didn't even realize that cold that they had that they thought was a cold was uh COVID. You know? A lot of them fight it off that quick. They fight it off. This is why these vaccinations are here to help you fight off it. They don't make you sicker unless you already have discrepancies in your immune system. And yes, there's gonna be people who have adverse reactions to it. And you know what you need to do? With anything, I'm saying people who have like my friend, she has autoimmune disease. She does not want the vaccination because of her autoimmune disease, and I can understand that. But we have people who believe in this whole thing of herd immunity, and I'm like, you know why I have a problem with herd immunity? You can't use things that you haven't been proven to have as an excuse, because that shit is dangerous. Now, I know I have a strong immune system, and I've been vaccinated, but that don't make me think I'm invincible. That don't make me think I'm invincible. I don't walk into places like, here's my card. They be like, oh, we'd feel better if you had a mask on. Or some, like, not all places. Like, even sometimes I go to Target. Target's like, you know what, here. If you're not comfortable, if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask, but we feel comfortable, so I'm like, I have my mask, and there's certain places where, in that store, when I'm like, you know what, okay, all right, then next thing you know, I'm in the aisle with a bunch of people, I'm online, that shit right in my face, because we in proximity of each other, and that helps me feel better, that helps, some people don't care. My thing is, I'm doing that for me, not for everybody else, I'm doing it for me, because it be the ones, anybody can have it right now. But it's not a fear mongering technique that I'm using. You just don't know. You just don't know. So let people do them. Let people do what's good for them. Stop yelling at people, trying to shame them and call them crazy over that. Look, I might not believe a lot of the shit that people say. Yeah, and they do account for a small percent. They be like, I don't shame people for it, but when you attack me, motherfucker, that's it. That's it. I can attack you back. Bruh, an alcoholic. Ayo, this dude that was subscribed to me from Baltimore or from Maryland, one of the parts. Alcoholic, brother, alcoholic. Do videos. And I thought my channel was small and nobody really gave a shit. But you do a video and you in your fucking car with the camera close to your face looking all sweaty and shit, like, yo, why isn't Donald Trump helping us? This is after Donald Trump has been ousted, voted out of office. You crying for Trump to come back, to do something about this whole mask mandate that's going on and all this stuff. And I'm like, motherfucker, you gotta be drunk at this point making this video. But I'm supposed to take your word and you calling me delusional. You better take 2 seats. Fuck out of here, man. This is the shit that I deal with. This is the people I deal with. Like, I had a patient. I have so many stories. I had a patient, bro. You see, brother, we need to go to a rehab. No salt, but making videos won't help much. Yeah, they won't. That's why I don't make a lot of videos like this. They don't. It might be therapeutic, but it won't help the addiction. And me talking about my problems won't help my problems, but it might make people more aware of something that I might be going through. It might make you more aware of it, so you won't have to go through what I'm going through. That's the thing of it. It ain't me like I'm I'm not trying to live vicariously through everybody. I'm not. See, that's the problem. This is how we got this whole debate with going on with what's the guy in the suit? We talking about, what's his name? The black dude, Kevin Owens. I know I said Kevin Owens. I'm thinking of Kevin Samuels. I'm thinking about wrestling right now. Owens might be leaving WWE. I don't blame him if he do. But Kevin Samuels and stuff. I don't give a damn if he is effeminate. I don't give a damn about none of that stuff. I don't give a damn about his views on high value. See, I feel that any guy and girl who's letting people talk about high value, I think all that shit is compensating. I was told I was high value. One of my favorite YouTubers told me that, he's like, you know why you high value, bro? Because of what you do for a living. Now, I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm going to just remain here and I'm just be stagnant and do nothing and try to strive for better. is because of what I do for a living, and don't ever diminish your value. And pass that along. And that's cool because a brother that's a little bit younger than me, PD, a brother that's a little bit younger than me gave me that much respect. And I'm like, you know what? That makes shit like this worthwhile. Me doing videos like that, it makes it worthwhile. Wow. For the fact that there's people out there that understand that you are valuable. I mean, if you do right by this world, meaning like you don't go to, you're not jailbird, you're not out there selling drugs, you ain't out there fighting and shooting people, doing all this dumb shit. You have a good job. You help you like a lot of people don't understand these calloused hands of mine are from not just because of a skin condition I got, it's because I put work in. I work with these hands every day. I built this fucking wall right here. I built this desk that I put this camera on. This desk that I put this computer thing in. These where I put on my game consoles. Where my PS5 box is sitting at right now. This wall unit. This ledge that's holding up my counter. My bed I built in. The table back there where I fold my clothes on. The dresser unit. I built that. I built that myself. See, you are valuable. A lot of people, a lot of you blue collar cats like me, and I know I'm EMS, but I consider myself, I'm blue collar dude. I've always been blue collar. I used to call myself the blue collar gamer for a reason. Because I am blue collar. A lot of people look. Stop listening to a lot of these content creators talk about value. Because all value is going to be is how much you make a month. It's all about that. It's like we've become glorified, how can we say? We've become slaves to wages, and I know wages are very low as is. The cost of living is ridiculous. Not all of us are destined to be businessmen or make all of this money and stuff. We're not going to do, not all of us going to do that. I'm not saying give up on yourself. I'm saying you do the best you can in life and stop telling people you're not valued and stop letting people tell you that you're not of high value because of something they saw on fucking YouTube. I do. I do strike you as a brother that can build things. Well, I appreciate that a lot, man. But I do, yeah, I built a lot of stuff. A lot of things. My bed, I built. The drawer that's on the front of it. The wall unit next to my TV. I mean, under my TV next to my bed. Yo, I'm gonna run down the list of things I've built in my place, in my studio that I live in. My family home. Okay? I'm like the de facto landlord here. Long story short. But, you know, I can run down a list of it. Going from back to front, from the back of my place to here. I built a shelf up there where I use for storage and clothing on one side of the wall. On the opposite side of the wall, I built another shelf, but I got hanging where my clothes go. That built that there. Let's move on out to this area. The area here, I built a shelf where I keep my food on. No, you know, my dry foods and everything in that nature. I built that. Then in the middle, and then if you go over to my kitchenette area, I built a section for my microwave, for my bread box, for my toaster. I built that area above my kitchenette area. Next to on the other side of the refrigerator, next to that, I built a shelf there with the brackets to put a unit on where I could open because I rearranged the space here. Then I built a wall unit that got my OG Xbox in it, my OG PS4. I mean my OG Xbox One, OG PS4, a plasma screen above it, a 3D plasma, my sound unit from Clips, and my 3D Blu-ray player. Moving over to here, I built a faux wall to keep my dogs out of this area, and then I built the desk and everything. So I like building shit, man. I love it. I love it. If my place wasn't destined by this, if it wasn't hampered by the size and constructing, me having dogs, because I had to build an area to keep them confined in there and keep them enough space. This area in the middle is for dogs. I gave up a lot of area and a lot of room to want to do things for dogs. For my dogs. So they can have enough area so they're still confined, but they still can roam and have enough space to either play with each other, lay down, have their water, get some air. As soon as you walk in off my side door, come down here, they got the dog space. But I built spaces to keep them in. I sacrificed a lot for my dogs. They unfortunately, people you got children. I know they're not children, but bruh, they like children. They're not children, but they like children to a certain degree. I know it could be a side hustle. I would like to do stuff like that and get better at it. I'm only 43. I can still go to a vocational school and stuff and learn more about it. And YouTube teach you a lot. So imagine if you had the tools of the trade, you had more refined tools of the trade, and you brushing up your skills. See, it's a difference. You can't learn, you can't apply martial arts from what you learned on YouTube. You can learn in forms, but you'll never know that grappling experience, that hand-to-hand combat, because people are unpredictable. Whereas on YouTube, you can learn about carpentry because it's working with still things. It's trial. With still, not like the element still objects. You can learn a lot of things on there. You got trial and error. You can. It's a lot of stuff. All I need is the right tools and the location. See, I'm hampered by the way this place is built. It's open. So I had to make faux situations out of this stuff. See, it's being about people like that. You know what I'm talking about carpentry so much? Because carpenters are one of the most valuable people in this world. And I'm not even a professional carpenter, but the value that I brought to my place, meaning like the value I brought to my quality of life in this place. I live in Jersey City, the fifth highest when it comes to rent. And I know it's my family home and stuff, but the thing is, we have a mortgage to pay. And there's other things financially we obliged to. So, rather than me trying to live within far above my means and go and live up there and pay nearly $2,000 a month towards the mortgage of this, I would rather be here, pay a reduced amount. The only thing that's really stopping me is the fact that I can't take them with me. A lot of places do not accept dogs. I can live in a nice apartment right now. I can, but I can't take them with me. Oh, you gotta have a dog that's under 15 pounds. Last time I checked, they 50 and 80 pounds. One is almost 50, the other one's almost 80 pounds. I can't take them with me. There's a couple places I can move to. So their mind until their natural life has ended. So I have to make the best of the situation of where I live in right now. And they and my thing is, I'm not going to be here. I want to go elsewhere. I want to live elsewhere. Yes, this house is still part of my responsibility, but it's mainly my brother's. It's mainly my brother's responsibility. That's the way the family did it. My sister has her place with her husband. My brother has responsibility of this place, and my mother she's good. She's retired. Me, I want to put a down payment on a condo and go elsewhere. You know, I want to put a down payment on the condominium. I looked at the situation. I don't want a house, y'all, but I don't want to be confined to. I don't want to be confined to just your average apartment. I want a condominium. So I'm making moves right now in investments, small that can build up. Like for example, Albert. Let's talk about that for a thing. Let's talk about Albert for a second. Albert has aggressively been saving money for me, storing it into an account that I don't even touch. I spent the last month, like, I just started putting money into Albert maybe a couple of months ago. And I'm already at nearly $400 on that. Like how that save up. And then I have another one there. Just different places to put money in. And then I'm gonna start investing in more Bitcoin that I want to invest in. I'm like dipping my toes into that right now. Just doing things on the side. And then on top of that, working more to actually start to like save money. But my thing is I have to find more. I have to just do more. I have to put more work in, y'all. See, it's not easy. And the thing is, what keeps me going is the fact that I know it's not easy, but I want to be in a better situation, have better living conditions, let go of some things, you know? All the stuff that I like, that I value, that I started this channel out with, I can't keep forever. I can't play all this forever. I know I'm not one of these, I'm not, Metal Jesus or whatever his name is, the guy that just collect everything. I know I have a decent sized collection, but that's not what my focus is on right now. It's not. It's on actually. I love this stuff. Gaming is a great leisure. Gaming is a great leisure. When you come home, it's good to decompress. Get you a drink of gin and tonic or two. Play some Shinobi. No, y'all don't want to see me play Shinobi again. Man, I haven't beat that game yet, bro. I haven't. I have not beat that game yet, y'all. And I know I named this thing my I'm Still Here Obligatory stream. But I'm still here, y'all. And the stream wasn't. It was just me being tongue in cheek. It's not obligatory. I've been wanting to do this for like a week now. To just get back on and do a stream here. And people, I don't try to use this as something to promote, like to promote a side hustle. YouTube is not a side hustle. YouTube is a hobby to me. If I really wanted it to be a side hustle, I would go hard every day trying to bring you guys content here, then, and out. But my type of what I do for a living doesn't allow that. I can't be recording every day at work. I can't be showing off the logo of my job. I can't be doing none of that stuff. You violate HIPAA protocols and I get fired. Or because I want to do YouTube. No, this is more important. Making money to live is more important. The cost of living is preposterous, like Mos Def said in the Respiration song. With skyscrapers is colossus. The cost of living is preposterous. He's right. He's right. But people focus, what I was saying earlier, because I went off on a tangent, people focus so much on this whole thing about high value, especially black people on Black Manosphere, YouTube, all these black women and stuff. We got enough. I got enough issues with them and their entitlement. Yes, the entitlement thing is an issue with a lot of black women. So this whole thing, guys are working themselves into a grave to appease a bunch of women who have entitlement, surgically enhanced bodies, bonnets, obesity, and mediocre pum pum. You really want to work hard for that. You really want to work hard for that. Like for a lot of them. And I mean, newsflash to a lot of you brothers out there: hopping the fence ain't gonna fix your situation altogether. Cause even other races of women have surgically enhanced bodies, mediocre pum pum, and entitlement by default. So you have to learn how to navigate through this better. Like through this life, you gotta learn how to navigate through life situations much better. And we gotta keep holding them accountable. This ain't no men versus women thing. This is just basic necessity. Holding people accountable for their actions is something that should just be universal. It should just be by default universal. I don't know if anybody's still watching this, but how do you think about this whole thing? Um, just talk to me real quick in the comment section. Have you dealt with a significant other who who was just unaccountable for their actions as a in the past or in the present? Because like I said, there's situations where like, you know what, I could have did something better on it, but I know you're not talking. Like, meaning as for her or him, whatever. Like, I look back on past situations and I'm like, damn. I look back at it, I'm older, I'm more mature. I'm like, yo, I see why she was mad then. But that bitch ain't had to act like that out in public. See, it wasn't the fact that she was mad about shit. It's just the fact that she was both mad about it, did not want to talk about it. Meaning, I hate this whole miscommunication shit or lack thereof communication. Meaning, this is the most infamous shit, and every guy has gone through this, I think, to a certain degree. You out, something happened, or you just somewhere and you just mad. She's come into the room mad about something. And I'm like, oh, damn, what happened to you? What's okay? Why are you so cold all of a sudden? Nothing. Nothing. I hate that bullshit. I hate that bullshit. That bullshit is the worst. Because I think it goes to a point where she clearly could just tell you right there on the spot. But they want you to know everything. They want you to be psychic. Look at this bullshit. Look at Jada Pinkett Smith. Look at that shit. That talk she had with Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, you should know, I've been frustrated because, what, satisfy me this, that, and other, and I'm looking at Will and like, you should know this kind of stuff. I'm like, no, the fuck he shouldn't. You got two lips and an esophagus. Open your goddamn mouth. And speaking of being satisfied, when's the last time you opened your mouth and satisfied that dude? Fuck out of here, man. I mean, I can show y'all clips of my cousin's podcast he does on Instagram that I jump on there and I try to lighten it up and make it funny. Me and my cousin got a certain type of humor on there and stuff. But I was joking about bad poom poom, but I'm dead serious about bad poom poom being a problem. You building up all the stuff around you. You get your surgery done. You get your stomach snatched in. You get Brazilian butt lifts, which we all seen Madonna with one. And ugh, Jesus, you're 63, lady. You're 60 fucking 3 years old. Anyway, you seeing all this going on, and you got all this looking a certain way, face looking like somebody hit you in the face with a fucking bat, but you ain't got good poom poom. Let me stop. Let me just stop rambling on about that. But it's the truth. All jokes aside, we as men are forced to basically be like, you know what? We got to do a list because the women ain't happy and stuff. But that's the narrative that a lot of women who don't want to change, who are lazy, who are entitled, have, because it absolves them of any accountability, any responsibility, any obligation to be a better woman. If you yell enough and you believe and you convince yourself that you're good enough and there's people online telling you there's nothing wrong with you all the time, you start believing that bullshit. Like people with Drake, with his arrogance. Drake, to me, musically is trash. He's trash to me. He's just straight up booty butt cheeks when it comes to music. But he's so successful, he sell records. I'm like, he wants to be respected as a rapper, and honestly, he's super mediocre as a rapper. You know he is. That dude pushes culture. Like, that's what he is. Every trend that's hot, from Afrobeat to drill to Caribbean infused music to Houston based style rapping. He's everything, but authentic. Okay? He's everything but authentic. And I feel a lot of people who do content on YouTube are everything but authentic. I don't ride algorithms. I don't believe in that shit. Because a lot of stuff I'm just genuinely not interested in. But some people will sit there and they will generate interest in it because they want to ride a certain algorithm. Like, I was listening to Tyrone Magnus talk about Kevin Samuels. Tyrone Magnus, a guy who got flack a long time ago for dating interracially, who's currently his girlfriend is Puerto Rican, which is no problem with that at all. But my thing is, they done took black women that came after you for who you dated. I wouldn't even be trying to speak on them. I'm like, you know what? Let me be me over here doing my videos, my reactions, and let me be. But because it was a hot topic amongst a lot of his subscribers, he felt like he had to talk about it. He felt like he had to talk about it. And I'm like, you don't got to do that. You really don't got to do that. And I'm not going to, and I'm like, I believe in people just being the best versions of themselves. Sorry, I'm just messing with my headset here. You know, it's green, so it's already been green screened, which is, did not foresee me ever using the green screen, so I never changed that. If I ever update it, I'll buy black ones, maybe, but maybe I might use these for, it's trippy. But people ride algorithms. Like, I was looking at the whole thing with Review Tech USA. And that bullshit video he made about Travis Scott, calling him Travis Scott is a piece of shit over this whole thing at the concert. First off, I've met the guy. Second of all, I got family who work for the guy, but this is not why I feel the way you do. You don't give a fuck about Travis Scott at all as an artist. At all as an artist. And then you're gonna sit there and rate his and say that his apology and what he's going through was disingenuous? How you want somebody to act? But you're not going to attack Live Nation. You're not going to attack the fact that the fans disrespected the authorities, the barricades, to get into a concert, and they caused that to happen. And he's up there and you think he's Hawkeye, he can see all of this happening. And let's be honest here. From somebody who's been to an Astroworld event, people come to those events high already. There's mosh pits there. When punk rock died, people found another venue to get amped up and agitated and crazy at his type of concerts. But people like, see, he mentioned this a long time ago. People acting crazy and stuff, and that he enjoyed that. Look, he never said rush. He wants to make money off these fucking concerts, okay? This is his livelihood. He never said just rush in here, don't pay anything, act the fool. No, he's saying in the context of, get crazy, act crazy, have a good time. No, these are people that were on camera who fucking ran in, they rushed the barricade and went beyond the capacity, and people died because of their negligence, not because of his. Live Nation, a company that he employs this company to do these gigantic venues, overstep their boundaries, and they have a history of people being injured and killed at their events. So if you're going to hold Travis accountable of anything, you should be like, why did you employ such a shady and questionable company like Live Nation? That's what you hold him accountable. Y'all got it down there like he went down there and started personally strangling and stomping people out to death. No. Stop that shit. Many people have died at many different concerts. But go ahead, by all means, go after the one guy. Go after him. I wonder why. I wonder why. Fuck out of here, yo. That's all I have to really say about that shit right there, too. But this is what we deal with. This is what we deal with today. Now he's snoring. He finally got the bark out of his system. Alright, so maybe I'll get some gaming going. I know I played Rift Apart the other day on my like a week or two ago on my PlayStation 5, but I don't know. Will I go retro today? Let's see if I can actually get something to work. So bear with me. We're gonna go to the gaming aspect and see if we can get something going. I don't know what console I'm gonna play, if anything is still hooked up. That's a good question. I'm not really that much in the gaming mood anyway, but let's see if there's something I can find here. I want to play. Damn. What I want to play is my PS5, but I don't want to go through all the problems of hooking it up and stuff. But yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can find something for you that I wanted to talk about. So let's go to interact. Let's go to my home. Let me sign in. Yep, let's see. My email, which you can find on my page, I think. All right, let's see what we're working with here. Damn, I forgot my password. Well, it just slipped my mind right now. We get back into that later. Let's see what we can get going. We got Persona 4 over there. But I'm gonna play Persona Live with my friend around so he can guide me through it, because my friend's really, really good at JRPGs. So let me see what we got here. Got my PS3 still running. Alright, hold on. I think I have an idea. I think I have something, y'all. Alright. Let's dust you off. Let's see if I can get you running now. Got a hold from the east. Got a hold from the west. Got a hold that like a jacket off and rub it in her chest. I got a hold from the north. Hold from the south. Hold it like to suck it longer. Hold it in her mouth. A lot of people didn't know that Ice-T did 99 Problems. That's where Jay-Z get his version, get that hook line from. If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. Got 99 problems with it. That's Ice-T. The Detective Tutuola from SVU. For all you younger people who weren't around when Ice-T was actually a active musician. Y'all weren't around for, a lot of you probably weren't around for New Jack City. You know? When he played Detective Scotty Appleton with Mario Van Peebles and Judd Nelson. Which Judd Nelson is the voice of Hot Rod from the 1987 Transformers the movie. And he was in The Breakfast Club and I believe St. Elmo's Fire. Was he in that too? I'm not sure, but anyway, Judd Nelson he was a teen heartthrob actor. Everybody remember him from The Breakfast Club. I think that was Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, what's her name? Ali Sheedy. Yeah. Yeah, I believe it was those. Yeah, it was those five. It was those five that I can remember. See, Anthony Michael Hall went on to be Johnny Smith in the Dead Zone USA Network series based off of the Stephen King novel. See, look up Anthony Michael Hall and you see how much he's changed from uh his young years to how he looks now. He looks a lot different, but it's him. And let me see what else I got. Can I get this to work? We will see. Cause I like having these Velcro things. I recommend anybody, if you got a lot of cords, you got a lot of electronics, get these Velcros going. They cheap. You can get a whole bunch of them, so you can, when you finish, you can wrap your cords up and start and Velcro them, keep them really organized. Because rubber bands are great, but rubber bands snap very easily and corrode, whereas these Velcros hold up a lot better. So if you want to keep a whole bunch of wires in a small space, I recommend that. All right, so see if I can get this running. Where's my adapter? Let me go back to this. So I'm just working on a few things here. See if I get this going. Oh yeah, and also I might want to go into, let's go into a movie review real quick. All right, I'm gonna give y'all my review because I've been meaning to do this too. So I want to do a review on Welcome to Raccoon City because boy oh boy, I got a lot to say about that fucking movie. So let's see what we get going on that as well. But right now I want to get this going. Let's see if I can set up my GameCube. In the meantime, I got one box here, I got the other one here. Let's try this one. So I got two Razor Reptiles. I got the HD one and I have a standard one. And I'm just trying to find over my HDMI cables. You can tell I haven't been doing this in quite some time because it's all basically out of whack for me. Alright, got this. Now, let me find a cord to put this in. So other than me rambling, how you guys Sunday been so far? How you guys are doing today? Nobody? Nobody Sunday doing good? This is my one day off. I went from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off to now I am doing I'll be back to work Monday. But this week I have, if I do my 3 normal obligatory days, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I might throw Tuesday in there and do some overtime, do 4 days straight because I have 4 days on, get my 1 day overtime, and I end up also having 4 days off following that. Oops. Oh, that landed on his feet like a cat, which is good. Now, let's try to get this running. All right. All right. Let's disable this light here. Hey, how you doing? The Antisocial Socialite podcast. Lovely female there, lovely lady from over in the UK. Always show love. Always show love to her whenever I can also. Thank you so much. I am doing alright. I see you were at the party the other night of family and friends on the IG, which is cool. So you truly are the antisocial socialite. Yo, how you guys doing? Yeah, I know it's been a long time, yo. I know it has. But like I said, like life, like working my job and stuff. I just don't have the capacity to be on here. Like I will. Let me see. Oh shit, Brian Adams. Oh yeah, they still talking about Brian Adams and COVID because he's had it multiple times, and I don't think he's a. I don't know if he anti-vax or not, but yo, that's another one that keeps getting it. This is probably about the second or third time he's had it. But hey, by all means, don't get vaxxed. See, I don't even want to be like that. I'm just saying, like, you might want to, if you're catching it, you might want to consider otherwise. But some people don't listen. They really don't. All right. It's 1 minute and 13 left in the game. I'm just checking on the game. You know, I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm a New York native. I mean, I'm not a New York native. I'm a New Jersey native, but we don't really have any teams but the Devils. So I'll go right. I only got. If you think the Giants are bad, which they are this year, you wouldn't think they just won Super Bowl 2007, 2011. They're bad. But the Jets are even fucking worse. So, as you see, I don't go with the Yankees with everybody. That's the go-to team. It's the best team. Fuck the Yankees, man. Fuck them. And I might piss off some Bronx natives and New York natives, but I don't really care. Queens, baby. So I'm a Mets fan. I'm a Giants fan. So, and they're actually winning. So when they, you know what? Hopefully, it's because they fired Jason Garrett. You should have known by hiring the former head coach of the Cowboys. Fucking hate the Cowboys. You hired him as your offensive coordinator, and let's just talk about how. You know what? Let me shut up right now. Let me shut up before I get triggered. You got Petey, Petey. I get it. I'm home. You want to protect me? No. Lay down. Go lay down. Because you know this chip ain't barking. You're barking. Good Lord, I'm talking to them like they children. I told you. It's happening. It's starting. People who talk about cat ladies. Am I going to be a dog man? Anyway, so I'm just trying to hook up this stuff here. I'm sorry if I'm taking up so much time. I'm just trying to hook up this unit here to get this going. Now I'm trying to see where all my cords went. It's been a minute since I played all of this. Alright, I'm still on camera. Alright, this is good. Okay. Let's see. Ah, PD. You are the extreme. You are like the extreme killer if I've ever met one. No, I can't use that either. Oh man. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about that one. But it was better than the poor innocent. Yes. You know what? You know why? I'm gonna talk about it in a moment. And that was, you know what got me thinking about that? Because I'm actually trying to play that right now. Not the movie, but the damn game. And I'm trying to get this set up, but nothing seems to be in order right now. Nothing seems to be in the right order that I want it to be in. So I'm just trying to get this to go. All right. Give me a second. I'm just trying to get back to my stream. All right. All right, I'm managing. All right, good. I'm back. Everything's a whack right now. And let me see. I haven't forgotten. I'm just really trying to set up everything. See, when you do stuff on the fly and you don't plan these things out, this is what happens. Oh, yeah. You know what? Speaking of planning things out, you know what's one of the wackest rap lyrics I've ever heard? And it came from Big Sean. He said, sometimes you got to, sometimes you got to do like the solar system and plan it out. I'm like, nigga. I'm like, you really let that one go in the booth. You gotta do like the solar system and plan it out. That's a dad joke. Like I was listening to these dudes that do the reviews on rap lyrics and they're talking about who's worse. Is it Wayne or is it Big Sean? And when he said that lyric, I was like, bro, no, he didn't. No, that can't be real. He didn't say you gotta do like the solar system and plan it out. And they said, one of them said, yeah, it's like he's telling dad jokes as punchlines. This is why Big Sean is not in the contention of being one of the top right now out of this current generation. Of course, people are gonna always put Drake on top because Drake sells a lot of stuff. But like I was trying to talk about earlier, if Drake hit songs aren't hip hop based, like he really like, oh, this is a hit song. This is a hit. It's what's the song? It's Hotline Bling. He's singing in that bullshit. He ain't rapping. One Dance. He's singing in that bullshit. He ain't rapping. What's that song? Find Your Lovin'. He's singing in that shit. He ain't rapping. He like Marvin's Room. He's singing in that shit. He ain't rapping. So why you think he's not in contention? Why do you think I don't like him? He ain't a rapper. He's more than just an option. What the fuck is this shit? Yo, I'm sorry. This is why he got the fan base he got now. And you know who was going hard for? You know who was going hard for him when he first came out? And I'm not saying this as because I'm for hate speech. A lot of homosexual men were going hard for him because, and a lot of them were because of his level of sensitivity. And I think he started to notice that, and he started trying to act like he had all this false bravado. He knew where his fan base was going. And he was trying to change that. I'm sorry, like, there's no way in hell you, like, get me as a grown adult male partner masculinity to say, oh shit, that song One Dance is my favorite Drake song ever. It's one of my favorite. No. You know, every time I hear One Dance, you know what I think of? Two dudes in skinny jeans dancing, grinding on each other. Two skinny dudes with pot bellies, skinny jeans on, and dreads that come right down to their shoulders, frosted at the tip, red and blue, dancing with one another. That's what I think of. So, yeah, forgive me for thinking that of this one. That's what I think about every time I hear One Dance. But let me continue on trying to find. I am really trying to let me see, find the right things to get this to hook up. But I can't find anything right now. For some reason. Alright, that's the antenna piece. Right? Nothing yet. But like I said, I'm having, other than that, doing this stream stuff, my Sunday has been pretty chill so far. I think my dog purposely wants to ruin every live video and every live, every recording. Even when I'm doing videos, I'm recording over audio commentary to my phone. He finds a way to bark, and I know he don't bark like this when I'm not home. I just know that because not my neighbor, not my tenant upstairs, or anybody complaining about his overabundance of barking. I just think he do this shit because I'm home and he wants to oppress me. I get it. You're doing your job, and I appreciate that, PD. But damn it, man. Damn it, man. Okay, and I can't find this damn cord. All I needed was this one cord to get this running. I can't get it because it's the key to my HDMI converter. It's what plugs into the wall to get it to run so I can convert yellow and blue. I mean, not yellow and blue. I'm thinking of component like the red, white, and yellow over to HDMI to run it into my Razer Ripsaw. So I'm looking for that cable to power this device. Now I know I have one here, but it's just all out of whack. Okay, they actually won. Okay. Oh, they actually won. I'm shocked. You see that I'm so unenthusiastic over this this win. I'm so unenthusiastic over the fact that the Giants beat the Eagles. And I'm a Giants fan. I'm just over it right now. Do better, Giants. Fuck out of here. It took you that long to fire Jason Garrett. It took you that long. After losing 7 games under this guy's play calling of the season. You lost half of the fucking season, bro. You said the plan it out joke was, yeah, I get it, plan it out. But do like the solar system and plan. Bruh, that's a dad joke. It's a dad joke. But that's the shit Big Sean says. He said they didn't even bring this up in the debate they had on YouTube. On the brothers that I forgot the guy's name. But he said this in one song. I'm just trying to hit a homer, Marge. I should just shut the stream down after even repeating that nonsense. I'm just trying to hit a homer, Marge. That's what he said. I'm just trying to hit a homer, Marge. Bruh, are you serious? It was. Oh shit. Oh no, this ain't the right chord for it either. I thought I had the chord. But he said I'm just trying to hit a homer, Marge. That's another Big Sean banger right there. And I think it stuck on me like when he first came out. He did that song. It was real whack to me. Stop and do that motherfucking hammer time. And then you used a shitty ass sample of Can't Touch This. Like you actually said, yo, see, this is why I don't, this is my problem today with a lot of rappers today. This is why I stick to people like Kendrick, Cole, uh, what's the guy name that's signed to J Rock, people that nature. Hell, even Earl Sweatshirt. When he wanna do music good, when he wanna rap, the dude can rap. But he made a lot of albums where he just was just like fucking around. But when he can rap, you rap. Look up Earl Sweatshirt's album he got with Alchemist. Alchemist, the guy who used to produce for Mobb Deep all the time. Alchemist. Listen, like look up Earl Sweatshirt can rap, bro. Look him up. He was going through the fact of losing his father, the close relationships, and he's young. Earl's like what 25, maybe 26. He's going through that, but yo, when he want to rap, the dude can rap. I think when he grew his dreadlocks out, like Cole grew his dreadlocks out, they just got on a different style of music. But it just awoke something on them. See, it made me think of the video that's from I think Backstage. I think it made it to a J. Cole special or something like that. And Rihanna back then, she's like, I like this whole connection that you got with the crowd and your fans and stuff. I like that energy. But you need to do something about those dreads. You a Rasta, put some oil. Like how she was clowning him on it, but she was giving her props that she started ripping on him, like jokingly about his dreads. But yeah, you see, the way people tell it today is that a lot of these rappers don't get along with one another, and a lot of them. I mean, hell, even recently, bro. Drake got on the stage and told J. Cole like, you already up here, man. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. That I give to him. Even though I don't like Drake's music, that right there, he knows. But you lost to Pusha T, bro. You lost to Pusha T. Let's not forget that you lost to Pusha T. A guy who don't sell nowhere near the records you sell, but you thought he was a pushover like Meek Mill was, and you could do something like back to back on him, and you did that Duppy freestyle, which I thought was trash. Yo, he came out to the story of OJ. He did a non-official release of a song story added on. He got because his boy. It's the funny thing about this rap beef right here. OVO 40, who's Drake's producer, who has multiple sclerosis, I believe. So he likes to pillow talk a female that knew Drake's baby mom, Sophie Brissot, who used to do she's a big booty girl with a strong chin from over in France. So Pusha found out about that because Sophie's friend told OVO 40 through pillow talk, and then she told Pusha also. So that's where the part comes from, and story added on when he was like, OVO 40 hunched over like he 80. I was like, yo, Push ain't had no chill. OVO 40 hunched over like he 80 because of the multiple sclerosis. Then he said, tick, tick, tick. How much time you got? That man is sick, sick, sick. I was like, bro, yo, no mercy. So that LeBron James produced interview that he had with Drake, and Drake was talking all tough. See, I'm not even going to say his name and stuff. You saying stuff and you wishing death on people I know. Somebody gonna punch you in your face, man. I'm like, nigga, sit the fuck down. And Shabbat Shalom to you too. Fuck yeah. So, oh God. This is what we deal with today. This is today's rappers for the most part. So I appreciate those who don't be trying to get into rap beef and be trying to be tough guys, but they let their music, their body of work speak for itself. Case in point, that's why I like Kendrick a lot. I like Kendrick a lot because and Kendrick don't be trying to sound completely the same every time. That's why people didn't realize people were mad at the fact that To Pimp a Butterfly wasn't trying to be like Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City was a story. I would say it was like a hood musical. If you listen to the skits that led into each song and his mind state in each one and where he ended up now, from that kid fucking around with his friends got to beef and losing friends to street violence, to becoming more conscious and a little bit more religious and moving on to become a music artist and take that shit seriously to get out of those streets of Compton, but never forget those streets of Compton. That whole thing was a story with Kendrick Lamar. And The Pimp a Butterfly was a new story of Kendrick at that point past that. See, these albums tell stories like that. Like my favorite song off of I see The Pimp a Butterfly ain't growing me till later on, so I started realizing what he was doing. Like, my song is Hood Politics. I've been A1 since day one. You niggas boo boo. Your homeboy and block that you from, boo boo. Lou hoes you went to school with, boo boo. Baby mama and your new bitch. Boo. This is talking about hood politics. This is what they told. Like it's just like different things in that. And then to I, which had a version of I that you didn't. The video version was a recorded version, whereas I on the album only gave you really like a live version of it and done a little arranged a little bit differently. But the video version was completely different. So it was like, it was just little touches and stuff, little skits there too. Like This Dick Ain't For Free. He flipped it on how women be acting and stuff for, you gotta be hypergamous. They gotta be hypergamous and stuff. And then he started saying, yeah, they do. I ain't gonna be, they do have, I'm sorry, my vision's a little bit off because of the glare in my eyes. Yes, Keston, they have a lot of replay value. Like I'm thinking about going back to play Good Kid, Mad City from top to bottom. Like again. And then what am they did? Yeah, hell, even and the stuff growing me late. Like it growing me because I've really started to analyze what's going on in this album. Like, damn. That album, damn. Like DNA was my shit for a long time, and then I really started listening to Element. And then Element just became it became my favorite song off that album. Like Element. If I gotta slap a pussy ass nigga, I'm gonna make it look special. I'm gonna make it look sexy. I was like, oh, what the hell? But at the beginning, he's like, I've been stomped out in front of my mama. My daddy's commissary made it to commas. Bitch, both my grandma's dead. So ain't nobody telling me I'm right on your head. Hey. And you know what made me think about that? Why that beginning? Bitch, both my grandma's dead. Both my grandmothers are gone. Myself. Like, and how important grandmothers are to black families and to black children growing up is very important. So I can understand where his mindset was to tell a story in a song about how he was the mindset, he was like, if I gotta slap a pussy ass nigga, I'm gonna make it look like, but yeah, it's just little things, and you could take songs. It don't mean one specific thing to one person, but you could take them and you can interpret a lot of his stuff to you in different ways. Then there's certain things that do catch you, and it hits you right on the nose like he wants it to hit you. So yeah, yo, you are not kidding. Keston, they got a lot of replay value. I love like music like that that got meaning to it. Like that's why, like I said, I can't really fuck with Aubrey Graham because Aubrey Graham only talks about Aubrey Graham. He don't talk about really nothing else that's him being on top of the game and the money and all that stuff. I don't care about that. That's not how I live in real life. See, people be like, "Yo, I need to escape and stuff, so I'm gonna live vicariously through him." You just hating because you ain't in that mindset. I'm like, I'm not in that mindset, motherfucker. You ain't in that mindset either. You're not even in that tax bracket. I don't need nobody music to make me feel worse than what I am or try to make me feel like I'm not I need to be this and do that. No. Sometimes you really need to hear a message out here that somebody understands how real the streets is or how life experiences and different mindsets. A lot of people listen to music to be just to escape. I not only can I escape through this, I can actually relate and escape at the same time. So he said it's been nearly he's hoping me too. Like after his work off of doing the Killmonger theme, the Black Panther, and that mindset of how Killmonger was, and that you know he did that. So the last thing we really heard from him that was like studio related, like big. Besides a lot of the rough cuts that dropped, that a lot of B sides, a lot of stuff that was unreleased. We didn't hear anything for a minute. And the thing is that I think isn't he done with Top TDE? He's contractually completed with them. I don't know if he's gonna do his own thing label wise or what, because he don't want to be like you signed to this nigga, that signed to that nigga, that signed to this label. We know where that's who that reference is. So and MC, what's going on, Elric? It's a King's Dad. Yeah, that was a King's Dad, right? So yeah, me. That's the thing. Like I felt like the older I get, I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like, you know what? I have to my music taste for hip hop is stuck in the 90s when I was 12, in 1990 when I was 12 years old. No, I still like a lot of that stuff. But I go through what was really I'm more of a lyrics guy too. I mean like you ain't got to be hitting me with stuff that's so super smart that I can't register it, but it's clever. It's like it rides a lyricist rides the line between what's smart, what's clever. They ride that line. A lot of people be trying to hit you with stuff like just hit you with stuff that made you I'm not trying to solve an equation here. Not all lyricists and stuff be like, oh well, he's too advanced for you. Like see a lot of people don't understand like that's the thing that people the conception of people have of Aesop Rock. Not ASAP Rocky. Aesop. Not ASAP Rocky. Aesop Rock. See, a lot of people have that misconception of him that it's like it's over your head. See, an example of somebody who's lyrical and you get what he's saying and you can get a lot of references is Pharaoh Monch. I don't know if you ever heard of Pharaoh Monch. I don't know if you guys my age or you're younger than me, but Pharaoh Monch, this dude from the 90s, the early 2000s, Organized Confusion. Pharaoh Monch is one of the best lyricists out there. And he made a song, Once the Gun Draws, talking about street accidents, like the effect guns have on people from accidental shootings to actual murders. He's like, good morning. My name's Mr. Bullet. I respond to the index when you pull it. the trigger. So make a note, take a vote. Quick, man. Nicknames Quaker Oats cause rather domestic violence or drug deals. See, I lust to change the brain matter to oatmeal. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people didn't get that. I lust to change brain matter to oatmeal. And there's other things he said, and there's other songs he got too. See, people only know Pharaoh Monch for Simon Says. Girls, rub on your titties. You fucking, I said it, rub on your titties. New York City gritty committee, Peter the fool that acts shitty in the midst of the calm and witty. People only know that because that Godzilla sampled it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. People only know him really for that. But Pharaoh Monch is one of the most underrated lyricists ever to do it. And from New York. Like, look up Black Hand Side with Styles P. He did a song with Styles P off of his, what's the album he got? I just was looking at the Pharaoh Monch album. I got, War. We Are Renegades. This album right here. Pharaoh Monch. He did a song with Styles P off it. Black Hand Side. And then the song that, what's the other song off this? Black Man Side, Hitman off this is good. Haile Selassie Karate. He even had Idris Elba do the intro to this album. Idris Elba knows who Pharaoh Monch is. Then his last song on this album was Still Standing with Jill Scott doing the hook line. But my song on here was Assassins featuring Jean Grey and Royce the 5'9". And if you know who Jean Grey is, if you know she got put on by by Talib Kweli. She's another one that can rap. Lyrically female that can rap, and she ain't one of these types out here who are selling pussy over rap lyrics. She can rap. You know what? You just reminded me. I gotta listen to Off Season. I've listened to the first two songs off it, and I was like, all right. But then I just never got back to them. That's my bad, y'all. Stuff. But I definitely gotta listen to it. He said Lloyd Banks also dropped the album earlier this year. See, I've been so much out of the loop when it comes to hip hop, but I've been like really on a. I guess I've grown more into like R&B because I've been like scavenging hunting for true R&B, good R&B, not Trey Songz in the club, Mr. Steal Your Girl R&B. I'm talking about real like R&B and soul. I've been like looking for different ones and some more soulful music. And surprisingly, when it comes to R&B, UK got the crown right now, bro. Like low key, UK got the crown when it comes to R&B. A lot of the UK artists who are R&B artists are good. I mean, from Emma V. I don't know if you ever heard of Emma V. Even Cyprel, Marie Dahlstrom, productions by Alphamist. Alphamist, Alfamist. Even Alphamist, his productions have been good with a lot of different people. He is his own artist as well. And speaking of Emma V has a album with Alphamist. So she's been singing a lot. If you know Emma V when you see her, she's brown skin, dog. She's a brown skin woman, short hair, short box fade and stuff. But Emma V is talented. And she's good. She's another one. I met Cleo Soul. I was listening to Joe Budden's podcast talking about Cleo Soul lately, like her album Mother that just came out and stuff. But I've been stuck on When I'm in Your Arms by Cleo Soul. So I've been like doing a lot of R&B. So I've been falling off on my hip hop, but I gotta get back into that. So Cleo Soul's another one. She's good as well. Cleo Soul is very talented. I said Emma V. I said Marie Dahlstrom, Cyprel, Ego LMA. Not light skinned cute one like that. Ego LMA is a beautiful brown skinned woman. Names are familiar. That's why she put Ego in front of it. But yeah, there's a lot of artists out there like in the UK doing R&B music the right way. James Vickery. If you look up James Vickery, you wouldn't think. You look at him. If you look up a picture of him, like nah. Then you listen to the guy sing, you like, yeah. He even got a song with music. James Vickery is this he's this white kid from UK, also from England. Very talented. Like look up just colors. Like if you got YouTube right in front of you, put in colors, James Vickery. Vickery. Put in James Vickery and look up and listen to him perform this song till morning. And you see what I'm talking about. Like I like that type of R&B. So I've been like falling off with rap music a lot, but I got definitely listen to off season. I got Apple Music. There's nothing stopping me from listening to it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna do that as well. Oh yeah, and I saw the Eternals also. That's the movie. You see, I listen to people on Eternals tell me that, I mean, people critical of MCU, oh, they movies are all the same, blah, blah, blah. The director of Doom is right. Martin Scorsese's right. Everybody who hates Marvel is right. Eternals do something different. Oh, what the fuck is this shit? And I'm like, what? I actually enjoyed Eternals. I actually liked the movie. And I like the fact that Makari, played by Lauren Ridloff, Connie from The Walking Dead, who's truly hearing impaired, I like the fact that Makari, there was no slowdown in this movie. Every speed scene of Makari using her powers was in fast motion. Like, because if I seen another scene of Ezra Miller as the Flash in slow motion, doing skating techniques and stuff like that, and looking like an ice skater, I would have lost my shit. But Makari is a speedster. Makari was just attacking. Like, this is how I want to see a speedster fight. When she was bringing it to Icarus, I was like, that's what I enjoy. And you're right, a lot of people are quick to go with the crowd. So I actually enjoyed Eternals. And then they had a little Game of Thrones, little reunion when you seen Dane Whitman and Icarus, because you know that was Robb Stark and Jon Snow and stuff. And did you see the after credits, the second after credits, the final one at the end of the movie? Did you see that, Elric? You know who that was at the end that talked to Dane? Just put it in the comment section if you know who it is that talked to him at the end. I know you've probably heard by now who it was. I'll wait. If you know who it was at the end of the Eternals, when Dane was about to touch the ebony sword. Oh, you know who it was, right? You know, I know. Oh, you said yeah. Yep, that was my Hershey. You said yeah. Damn, he has the helmet. But yeah, the end with the 8 dots. You said Dane Whitman that Kit Harington played. We know that's the Black Knight from Marvel, but the voice that you heard at the end of that talked to him, it was the after credits scene, like at the end of the credits, and you hear that voice say, "You sure you want to do that, Whitman?" You know who that was? Take a guess who that was that said, "You sure you want to do that, Whitman?" To Dane at the end when he was about to touch the ebony sword at the end of the Eternals. You gotta know this. And it was the actor who's going to play him. Actually, it was Mahershala Ali, and that was Blade. The voice you heard off camera say, "Are you sure you want to do that, Whitman?" That was Mahershala Ali, Blade. I was like, oh shit. And Chloe Zhao, the producer, confirmed that much. With Kevin Feige allowing her to confirm it. Blade. I'm not making it up. It was Mahershala Ali. It was Blade. because in the comic book, the Black Knight and Blade and a few others formed like a Midnight Suns group that they worked under. Yo, it was Blade. I kid you not. Look it up. It was Blade. Sure you want to do that, Whitman? Because the Ebony Sword is cursed. But the Whitman family, his uncle, this is, and you know what? Cersei knows who Dane about his family because you heard Sprite and the Eternals know about the Ebony Blade. You know, because you heard Sprite and Athena was like, "Is that the Ebony Blade?" She's like, "No, it's a different sword. I think it was Excalibur or something." But she like, but she mentioned Sprite mentioned the Ebony Blade. So Cersei later on in the movie when she was talking to Dane on FaceTime, she said, "You know, you should see your uncle. Go see your uncle because she knows that Dane Whitman, that the Whitman family is the family of the Black Knights." So she knew. That's why she's like, "You should go talk. You should talk to your uncle." And then after Cersei, um, Kango and Phastos was taken by Arsham the judge into space for for their memories to be accessed. Uh, Dane saw it happen. So this is why Dane wants to touch that blade. Dane wants to be able to protect himself and others around him because he knows what's going on. He saw the variants at the beginning when they came for Cersei and Sprite. He saw her get taken by the Celestials. So now that's what he has a purpose that he wants to pick up that blade because he wants to be more heroic now. That's the reason. That's what's going to happen in the MCU. So we already got part of the Midnight, the crew that Black Knight and Blade were part of has another character who has a series coming up on Disney Plus, Moon Knight. So now you can get the Midnight Suns going. They're already talking about bringing back Ghost Rider maybe sometime down the line. So you already got Black Knight introduced. You're introducing Moon Knight and you're introducing Blade. It's going to be, if they do it right, shit's going to be lit. So I like the Eternals, but I know I told people that I was going to talk about, Moon Knight, played by Oscar Isaac. Like they showed the little preview trailer to it that showed you just a little bit. You know, he got all the multiple personalities. Yeah, and She-Hulk. I don't know if she's part of the group, but they showed you that it's still in production. It's nowhere near done. The special effects ain't even finished. That's why people are like, why does she look so awful? I'm like, the special effects ain't done. And then you see people like Tyrone Magazine, it looks terrible, and I hear people always telling me that it's not complete. Why put it out? Why put out the trailer? It's for conceptual reasons to let you know that it's in production right now and it's moving along. I hate when people start crying about bullshit that they know that's clearly in front of them, that they know that's clearly in work right now. This pandemic pushed everything back, and then they reshuffled the order of a lot of things right now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So now Hawkeye takes place a little bit differently. They do this all the time, but the pandemic, they had to do it more to shuffle everything around to fit certain chronological order. Now I watched Hawkeye also. Hawkeye was good. I like the first two episodes. Fans pretty much cast Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, and she listened to the fans, and they got Haley Steinfeld. Marvel listened to the fans casting, and Haley Steinfeld was like, "Okay, let's do this. I do it. I want." She's, Kate Bishop's a 22-year-old character. Haley Steinfeld is pretty young herself. They forming the Young Avengers also, because when Wanda finds Wiccan and Speed, her two children that she created in WandaVision, she finds them in the multiverse where she was looking through the Darkhold at the end of WandaVision. They're going to be two members. Falcon and Winter Soldier, Isaiah Bradley, the grandson of Elijah Bradley, who was this black super soldier played by Carl Lumbly. He gets a blood transfusion, or he was taking this serum to make it look like he had strength, but he ended up getting almost fatally injured, and he got a blood transfusion from his grandfather, giving him true super soldier abilities. So you got Wiccan and Speed. You have Patriot. I think his name was Patriot or whatever he called himself. That's you got Bradley's grandson. You're gonna have Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. You're gonna have Stature, which is Cassie Lang, which is Scott Lang, Ant-Man's daughter. Yo, you got they forming Young Avengers in the background. They forming Young Avengers in the background right now. They are forming them in the background right now. Also, there's a lot of things that's going in motion right now. That's going on. And then Ironheart, Riri Williams, her series is coming as well. So you got Young Avengers right there. You got your new team in Avengers for the future going forth. And people can be like, well, Spider-Man, you could put him in that too, but Spider-Man technically is an Avenger, full on. The Batman, I want to see more of it. Like I want to see that movie when it come out. Colin Farrell, his version of Penguin. I want to see how they do this Riddler. I like the look that they have for Selena Kyle, Zoe Kravitz, and I'm really interested in seeing how they do this, how they do the Batman, because it's done by Matt Reeves that did the Planet of the Apes movies and other ones. So I want to see how this goes. So I'm really interested in that. Oh yeah, but did you also hear about what's been going on with Henry Cavill? You know, Henry Cavill said he would love also to be Captain Britain. He's a comic book fan. He's a PC gamer. He's a fanboy of a lot of stuff. He's younger than I am. And he said he would love to play Captain Britain. And the Snyderverse fans got mad. Oh my God, you can't. Like, I couldn't. I'm reading what you said. Robert Pattinson was getting heat for him not being the size people wanted to be. People want a bodybuilder in the bat suit. You see, this is growing up with comic book fans, and you know how the hyper-muscularized vision that they have for a lot of people, drawings they have of people. That's what's going on right now with it. And people are like, he's not the size of it. And I'm like, he is a younger Bruce Wayne in this movie. So if he could do the physicality of it, I really don't care. Because look at people's favorite movie Batman of the past. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was never in shape like that. But Michael Keaton had the suit. He had that rubber black suit on. But now today everybody wants beefcake. 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 And I'm like, look, to a certain degree, yeah, I get it. I get it to a certain degree, but you want him to be super big. I mean, Christian Bale wasn't even height adequate Batman that we know. He was just shorter guy. And that fighting style, oh my God, don't get me to, I'm sorry. Y'all might hate me for this, but I did not care for the majority of the Nolan Batverse. I'm sorry. I didn't care for the majority of Christopher Nolan's Batverse. Batman Begins still is my favorite of those three movies. And everybody, what about The Dark Knight? It did everything. No. Batman Begins told a version of the Batman origin that I loved. And that on its own was enough for me. Now, no disrespect. I thought The Dark Knight was good. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was good. Rises to me was complete dog shit. Rises was complete dog shit to me. Like, from a logical standpoint, the movie made no fucking sense. Then that death scene with Talia al Ghul, bruh. And then let's dial it back. Not talk about this every now and then, but let's dial it back to the fact that Bane was an adult inside that prison. And he fell in love with that little girl and got physically injured, let on her escape. They said he he fell in love with me and stuff. And I'm like, you were a little girl inside that prison. He fell in love with a little 10-year-old girl with her head shaved. He said that. He said I was like, so all those guys down there were a bunch of rapists, murderer, pedophiles, which they kind of just glanced over in the storyline, like, oh yeah, yeah, we're not gonna bring it up, you know. And then on top of that, his Bruce's back didn't get broken; it got dislocated. You got your ass beat in the battle against Bane, and he picked you up and broke and dislocated your back, not broke it. So they put a rope around you, punched your shit back into place, and said you should be able to stand guys in a prison full of pedos, murderers, and rapists. Fixed your back. You just lost in combat to Bane. And the only thing we see this motherfucker doing is push-ups. So you're telling me this whole time he only got beat by Bane because he was out of shape? That's what you're saying to us? Is that what I guess? And somebody probably gonna be watching this like, duh, that's what it no. Fuck that. That's stupid. Because when you came back and was fighting with Bane out in the street in broad daylight looking like an idiot. Oh yeah, and there was also another scene in Rises that had me rolling. Now I forgot the lieutenant that Matthew Modine played. Matthew Modine, the actor, played the lieutenant in this movie, and it was a part where I think Talia got in a vehicle and she said fire and shot up everybody, and you just all of a sudden you just see him there laying dead, and I'm like, yo, the action in Dark Knight Rises was some of the worst filmed second unit shit that I've seen ever. Like even in Dark Knight, it was so many jump cuts to the action. I was like, Christopher Nolan does not know how to film action. And then somebody got mad at me and linked me to a scene inside of what's that movie again that he did when you go into people's brains with Leonardo DiCaprio and Ellen Page and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Marion Cotillard again and her bad death scene in Batman. But you know that I forgot the name of the movie. You know what I'm talking about. And he's like, you can't. He know how to film it. I'm like, no. Yes, and Christopher Nolan, like you can't do like, oh, but he's trying to tell a narrative, and he beats you in the head so heavy with his narratives. Love transcends time and space. Interstellar. Love transcends time and space. All throughout Interstellar, and I'm like, so let me get this straight. He was talking to his daughter the whole time from the future, and like through the books and shit like that, she was communicating with him, and he was able to find his way home because love transcends time and space. So he was able to find his way home. But when he finally found his way home, his daughter was on her deathbed because he was frozen in time somewhere. But he got home because love transcended time and space. You see me repeating this repeatedly? That's how ridiculous and ham-fisted a lot of his narratives and his themes are in his movie. That's why I think he's very fucking pretentious. Yeah, Inception, that was the movie. When you go into people's minds. And it was a part where the room was shifting and stuff. See, he know how to do action. Somebody sent me that scene. I was like, how long is this movie? That one scene. Fuck out of here. I'm like, yo, you Nolan stands kill me, bro. They kill me so much with it. I'm like, you defending this shit? Like, are you truly defending this? Now, movies back in the day like Memento, Insomnia, and stuff like that. But when he tried to deal into this action shit and things of that nature, I'm like, I don't want no. Stay away from action. Do thrillers. Do provocative thrillers like you were doing before. Stay away. Don't ever touch a superhero property again. Because in one interview, he pretty much, in other words, say he don't give a fuck about the source material. This is why Bane was a man with such a terrible accent, wasn't that tall, didn't have any venom in him. It was nothing Bane about him. But Nolan stands were able to forgive him. And Batman's fanboys were able to forgive the fact that Bane was nothing like he was in the comic book. They was able to forgive that. And speaking of stuff that wasn't really faithful to storylines, I went and saw Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I give that movie a solid 6. And the only reason it didn't get a 5 from me is because the atmosphere was pretty good. Meaning, the atmosphere of the scene, meaning when Claire and Leon were going through certain parts, the orphanage was there, certain parts of that. The movie was stripped down too much. And then just too much was crammed into Welcome to Raccoon City. For me to be like, you know what? This is a good story. No, too much crammed in, too little told. Too much crammed in, too little told. This is my whole inception. Or my whole perception, of Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. This is my whole perception of it. Like, first off, you start off and Lisa Trevor wanted to be friends with Claire, but they were in the orphanage, and she used to sneak out of the orphanage, and she was yeah. It's like they took all these different points, talking points and character points and different things from Resident Evil, blended it up, reversed and flipped everything. Things happen out of order. Things happen for no rhyme or reason, but for the simple fact that we as Resident Evil fans wanted it to happen. So you just made it happen on screen, but it was not earned. This is my problem with the movie. Not even the cast. It was the writing, it was the script, and the execution that really made me give Welcome to Raccoon City a 6. Because it got the atmosphere right, but the scale of the movie was, the budget was too low for this movie. For a Resident Evil movie, and it tried to tell too much. If it was me, I would have done Resident Evil. I would have did a reboot of the Resident Evil franchise like this, and I would have focused on Resident Evil 1. The movie would have went about 2 hours, about an extra 13 minutes than what it ran, an hour and 47 minutes, and it would have focused mostly on Resident Evil 1 events. You could have taken liberties with different things in there, and from the game, while still staying faithful to the core aspect of the story. Something that the Milla Jovovich movies didn't do. Okay? I would have done it like this. Alright. The movie would have been introduced with the incidents happening in Raccoon City. The whole thing about the mountain, the grizzly murders in the mountains. You would have saw that. You would have saw references to that. You would have saw more of Umbrella's influence in Raccoon City, which would have been a city that had been a little bit more bigger. Like, to the way that, even the way Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes did the city, I would have done it like that. Or hell, they could have captured more of their OG Resident Evil 2 and 3, the way the city done. Because if you play Resident Evil 3, the original 1999 version, you see how big Raccoon City really was. And how confined to the map that Leon and Claire was. Because their events took place strictly around the mansion and around the RPD and underground. Whereas Nemesis, which is a side story that takes place before and after Resident Evil 2, takes place more around the city. Now, for my movie version, I would have made the city more akin to what you saw in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. But that wouldn't have been the focus. I wanted you to. I'm only setting up the city as for a scenic level because you want to see more of Umbrella's influence in it. And now in this little town, Umbrella influence was everywhere, but you didn't see Umbrella at all because they wrote it to be Umbrella withdrew from this town. They just moved everything out. Now this town is suffering for it. But in this movie, they were like, okay, Umbrella moved out of this town and left this town the way it is because Umbrella secretly exposed people and got them sick. They didn't even they even emphasize that it was the T virus. They just inferred that we knew as fans. But as the average moviegoer, nobody fucking knew why. You allowed it to be a glancing comment that Ben Bertolucci in the movie made. You know about the TNG virus? Like everything was just mentioned just as a glancing thing. They never really told the story of how the events played out. This is why my version of Resident Evil reboot movie would have been more akin to the original game. You could take some liberties. I would have took some liberties with the storyline. This case in point, I would have fixed the whole situation with the ending. Meaning, when you play the game, Jill, if you played as Jill, you only saved Barry and Chris. But when you played as Chris, you only saved Jill and Rebecca. Whereas all four of them, you would have seen happen and how this happened, and characters who you didn't see interact would have interacted. Now, the only thing I would have had a choice with, I would have had both Chris and Jill in this game to a certain degree. I mean, in this movie, roaming around the mansion, because you either play as one or the other. I would have had both of them roaming around in the mansion as well. But at some point in the game, it would have had to be a decision. I mean, point in the movie, a decision whether it's Chris or Jill that gets captured by Wesker. Because let's say, for example, it's maybe it's Rebecca that gets captured because she finds out that Wesker is really behind everything. So he confines her because before she can get back to Chris or Jill or Barry to tell them what's going on. So he throws her in there and stuff because he can't kill Chris and Jill right away. He's there to record combat data from the monsters, like in the game. He's there to prove the hunters, how efficient the hunters are at killing, and all this other stuff. And the efficiency of the T-virus monsters, the Neptune, all this other stuff would have made it into this movie. And then you would have had certain parts of the movie, like the beginning of the movie, when you introduced to Chris gets he has a picture of Claire on his desk, his sister, and he actually gets a phone call from her because Claire's in college right now. And Claire's like, Chris, I've been hearing about the stories up there, and I'm worried about you. I'm worried about what's going on there in that town that you work at and stuff. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna be okay and stuff. You worry about college and you stay safe up there and stuff. So you already done set up Claire already at this movie. You won't see her again for quite some time. So in the meantime, you can cut back and forth, cut every now and then to Raccoon City with Chief Irons. Chief Irons, you getting to see how corrupt Chief Irons is, but he's hiring new people and he got all these other cops coming in and stuff. Let's infer. We take liberties with the story of Resident Evil and we're like, okay, Chief Irons knows what's going on up there in that mansion. And he's like, somebody's talking to him. One of his assistants was like, yo, you worried about replacing the stars? You're going to replace stars already? He's like, don't worry. I'm going to replace them with new officers. And as for example, we got one guy right here. Boom. He's a prime candidate. Though, put it right down the file. And it's a picture of Leon Kennedy. Leon S. Kennedy. So you already got references to Leon and Claire. But the most core story will continue to be about Resident Evil 1 events. Okay? So ultimately, things go in the movie. They make it out of the mansion alive, like they do in the game. 5 of the characters. You got the pilot, helicopter pilot, Brad. You got Chris, Jill, Rebecca, and Barry. And they make it back, and they start to raise hell. Like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell? You gave Brad orders to leave us there? Brad, let's say, for example, I take another liberty with the story. Brad was he was ordered to pull the helicopter out by Chief Irons, but his conscience got the best of him, and he came back for them. So when they get back to the station, they get into a beef with Chief Irons. They get suspended for it. All of them, all 5 of them. Brad for defying his orders, because he was going to get blackmailed by Chief Irons, and the 4 for knowing too much and living through it. And the Chief didn't perceive them to live through that, because he's been working with Wesker. He and Umbrella also. He's corrupt too. So it fast forward to a couple months later and stuff, and you see like a glancing of news report on one of the characters' TV of people getting sicker, and then you get an inference of somebody in their house sitting there watching it, and they're scratching his skin and it's falling off. And things are getting worse. Claire's heading into town on her motorcycle. Leon's heading there for his first day of work. Because, things like that, you could have did that and then set up the next Resident Evil movie, which will be based around the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3. But no, they wanted to throw everything into this movie. And everything that's relevant with Resident Evil 2 and 1. They didn't care about Nemesis. There was no Nemesis in this movie. Because Jill was not written to... everything happened at the same fucking time. It was just poorly executed. But the atmosphere of the movie was great. Meaning, the visually, certain parts. But then things, like I said, they happen just because we refer them to happen. And let me do a monster count in this movie, which really pissed me off. This is the only monsters you've seen or Resident Evil iconic creatures you've seen in the game. You've seen the zombie dog who got sick because the truck driver, the Doberman belonged to the truck driver who Claire was hitchhiking with. That truck driver that got bit in Resident Evil 2 owned a Doberman. And when he accidentally hit the person, the zombie female, the dog licked up the infected blood, got infected, bit the dude. They crash landed right in front. The truck crash landed right in front of the RPD. The man walked in on fire as a zombie, the truck driver, and Chief Iron shot him to death. While Leon's dumbass, yes, Leon was a dumbass in this movie. They fucked Leon up so much. While Leon was oblivious to it with his music on, his headphones, sitting at the desk. First off, Leon showed up at that time when all the shit was going down. See, this is what I'm telling you, like, the movie, I fucking hated that. The movie, like, when I play only on Chris, only Jill made it. Yeah, you can rescue Rebecca also thoroughly, but no Barry. Or, like, one of those, either Barry or Rebecca, never, like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I think he set that movie up to fail. No, he was only the producer. Yeah, I think he set up to fail because his wife was like, he's like, yes, Miller? He's like, this movie can't be better than mine. She's like, this movie can't be better than mine. Okay? So you producer on this one? This movie cannot be better than mine. Okay? Better than our movie, Me as Alice. No. This movie no. That movie only had a $50 million budget. And I would have wrote it much better. I would have wrote it better. George Romero got he got shit done with low budgets. This was the perfect opportunity to be more Romero-like. keeping the story only confined to the events of Resident Evil 1, setting up 2. But the execution was bad, and it wasn't even the cast. I thought, personally, Robbie Amell, the cousin of the Green Arrow, Stephen Amell, like visually, he would have been the person I chose for Chris as well. Now, Kaya Scodelario, who played Claire, she was type thick, but that was not Claire at all. That was not clear to me at all. And I was even forgiving the fact that Yvonne Jogia looks nothing like Leon. I would have forgiven that. I forgave that. But the fact that y'all fucked that character up majorly, he was a fucking loser in this movie. He was a loser in this movie. Leon S. Kennedy, even as rookie cop, was never a fucking loser. He was a 21-year-old who was just came into some shit. He was in over his head on his first day, and he learned how to toughen the fuck up. But Claire comes in and she's all big and bad already. Like, you're not gonna make it through the night if you don't get your shit together. To Leon, she's telling that to Leon. They never had word that antagonistic at all. They made it into this town together and found one another, and were forever connected to that. Oh, not in this movie. Oh yeah, you're right. There was no Kendall. So much shit. No Kendall gun shop. The city was the town. It looked like just some. I can go on, man. Not really wanting to be like, you know what? I ain't got my expectation high, but they could have at least made me more happier at this at all. And then Wesker turns out just to be some small town guy who got influenced by he got influenced by Ada Wong. Ada Wong manipulated Wesker of all people. Wesker got manipulated by Ada Wong. Now I was understanding Leon Kennedy at 21-year-old rookie cop, no experience, got manipulated by Ada Wong. But Wesker, see, all this stuff's happening. You find out at the end, he got brought back to life from some virus, and the side effect, they even tried to throw it in like, my eyes and stuff today. It's a side effect of the virus. So Ada is working for who now? HCF, like you saw in Code Veronica? Because this movie clearly was a prequel to Code Veronica. Even though the events didn't, that's where they go on next. Code Veronica. That's where you saw the Ashford twins. This is why Robbie Amell mentioned wanting to having a sequel be like Code Veronica. Even Johannes Roberts even mentioned that. But you should have at least gave Raccoon City the justice it deserved. It didn't feel like it was never enough danger in that movie when it came to zombies. It felt like it was just the same 15 zombies following them around everywhere. It didn't have enough scale at all. Things happened. The movie was a cliche of game references, but the execution was done so poorly. So let's do a monster count. That's what I meant to do earlier. You have your zombie dog. You have your zombies, of course. That goes without saying. You have one zombie dog. You have one licker. Maybe two crows. Then you have G. Birkin. That just popped up out of nowhere. At the end, that just happened so quickly. Whereas in Resident Evil 2, it went through that entire game of him mutating to the form. Like, then on top of that, there's no Sherry being out on her own. So Claire and Sherry never formed that bond. And Claire, Sherry, and Leon never formed that bond. Because people forgot. Sherry wanted to become an agent like she was in Resident Evil 6 because she looked up to Leon that much. And Claire was like a big, like, she looked up to Claire, but she really looked up to Leon as a hero. But she looked up to Claire in a motherly, like a maternal sister type way. But she really admired Leon for what he the stance he picked up. None of that can be formed in this movie. And then on top of that, you had Chris Redfield be raised as William Birkin's like a surrogate son. And then you have G. Birkin at the end of this movie. He's like, you really thought you can be part of my family and stuff like that. That came out of nowhere. You didn't see enough corruption from William Birkin to warrant you that. You saw a flashback of him trying to experiment on Claire, and Claire escaped. But that wasn't enough to tell the story. There was not enough layers to make you care. They just were relying on the fact that we, as game fans, knew what. Oh yeah, I know what that's referencing. I know what that's referencing. But it didn't tell the story efficiently, and that's what I have to say about Welcome to Raccoon City. And it got a 6 from me because the atmosphere was great. It was more nuanced. It wasn't an action-based movie. Like, it wasn't an action-based movie. There were certain parts of it that was really like, that jump scared a few people around me. I got the references. And that's what made me more upset. That I got the references, but I didn't get the payoff at all. Jill was just a walking train of references. So what you think is, she said this in the movie, and I love Hannah John Kamen. She's beautiful. She's a great actress too. I loved her as Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But it was a part that Jill, and this is no fault of hers, but it's a part Jill said in the movie. What way would you want to die? Being swallowed by a giant snake or by ripped apart by a big shark? Yeah, oh, she's making a reference to the first game. Shit that you would not see happen in this game. You only got to go into the hallways of the mansion. And then shit started happening. And that was happening at the same time shit was happening. And so I'm like, the only thing that saved this movie and made this movie somewhat decent, was the atmosphere. This script sucked donkey balls. Plain and simple, and that's all I have to say about that. They made Leon terrible, Elric. They made Leon straight terrible. Like, he was like, oh yeah, you only here as a cop because your father's an influential person. You shot your own partner in the ass somewhere during this and stuff. He was straight up incompetent. He got his gun taken off from him because he came too close to Ben while Ben was in the prison cell. And that's nowhere close to what we saw in Leon, the rookie cop Leon. Rookie cop Leon always kept his hips away, his gun hip away from the person's view, and he never would get close. And as naive as rookie cop Leon was in Resident Evil 2 remake, I'm gonna be honest, I thought Nick Apostolidis' performance as Leon was much better. And that was from a video game, but because all the performances were done in motion capture and by the actor who does the voice of him for Leon, I thought Nick Apostolidis did a better job as Leon than in this movie. Yep, Leon was on top of his class. He was none of this in this movie. He was a slacker. He was a loser. None of this. He was awful in this movie. Leon was straight awful in this movie. Claire was she was badass because she had to be the lead. She was the lead character of this movie, so they made her, oh, I learned how to survive on my own. But in the game, oh, these skills, my brother taught me all these skills that he learned in the military to teach me how to handle my own. No, she was a runaway in this movie. See, they were orphans, and they were Raccoon City orphans, which wasn't the case in the game. Chris worked in Raccoon City. Claire, they weren't from Raccoon City. After he got kicked out of the Air Force, he was a pilot. After he got kicked out of the Air Force for, I think, fighting or something happened, he found a job because Barry helped him find a job. Him and Barry were friends for years, I guess, for military. Barry got him the job there with him at Stars, while Claire went to college. In this movie, they were orphans. She ran away because Umbrella been corrupt for years, and Chris never wanted to believe her. So she came back to visit him, but she came back with proof this time that something was happening in the city. He ain't want to believe it. I'm like, oh, I know just where this movie's going. She's gonna come back with proof. The trailer told me everything. I'm like, he's not gonna believe this. She's gonna come back with proof. He's still not gonna believe it. He's gonna almost get killed, which he almost did at the mansion. He survived it, and then he believed her. And that's what happened. But then I did not expect it to be as fucked up as the rest of the movie was written. There was certain touches that I did like about it. Like, for case in point, the people bleeding out their eye. And Liam's like, you okay? Like, at the lady that ran the diner. She's like, yeah, I'm fine and stuff. She's like, I'm fine. You know, he's like, you should go to the doctor for that. She's like, no, I'll be fine. I can't even afford the doctor, let alone move out this town. So all the poor people who couldn't move out this town was left to die in this town from being overexposed to the water. But you find out that Chris wasn't killed because Dr. Birkin was spiking his drinks with like retrovirals. But they don't tell you that. It's just a reference that was made to the movie. Man, Claire was like, why? She said, why aren't you sick, big brother? And she opened his bottle that had a Umbrella logo on it, drinking bottled water, and she smelled something funny in it, but she just put it back down. She gave a facial reference that something about that water is off. And then they mention it, and one time later on in the movie that Umbrella knew this whole time that the drinking water was corrupt, moved their services out of this town, planned to destroy the city, but kept Chris alive because Birkin kept Chris alive. And I'm like, this movie, what the fuck is going on here? All you had is one job, to do the movie correctly and akin to what Resident Evil was in the game. Take some liberties with it to make it fit more in cinematically. Set up Resident Evil 2 and move on from there. I don't know what they were thinking with this one. I really don't know what they were thinking, but me no ghost though. Sucks. Yeah, it's like that's all I have to say about the movie. That shit hurt my feelings. I was just playing. It could. The future has a lot more potential, but they gotta get a better budget, and they need better screenwriters, and they need to realize less is more. Because when you try to put more in there, you're gonna touch on less based off of all of that, and it's gonna just feel like it's a crash book for dummies with Resident Evil. That's how I basically felt about Welcome to Raccoon City. Will I watch it again when it comes to streaming or on bootleg on Nvidia.ch maybe? But I'm not paying for that movie ever. You can see it, watch it at your own risk, people. That's all I have to say. But I think this stream has gone on for almost 3 hours. Wow, I can talk. I can really talk, y'all. But yeah, that's passionate. I've been wanting to do a video about that, but I just could not form the words to really do it. But I could sit here in front of y'all and I could see that I'm being dead ass genuine. There's no script. There's no scripts in front of me. No papers. This is straight up off the script. And I wanted y'all to feel that as me being off the script with it. Meaning like this ain't me having some personal agenda, me regurgitating other people's reviews. I refuse to watch other people's reviews of this movie. I dead ass. I wanted to tell you this from my own memory. Bruh, they could have did much better with this. But it's been a great, thank you so much, Elric. But I'm about to bring this one to a close because I am hungry. If this microphone was even sharper than what it is, y'all can pick up my stomach rumbling like the Red Sea. But I gotta go eat, y'all. Have me another cup of coffee. Clean up this house, because my house is always a fucking mess. Because I'm never home, because I'm always at work. But anyway, y'all, thank you, Elric. Thank you, Antisocial Socialite. Kelson Pierre, thank you for showing up. AO, as always. Rakugaki, thank y'all all for showing up. And if you haven't left a like on my video for this live stream, please do. I hate having to ask people for that, but please, throw them up. Throw them up. Anyway, y'all, have a good rest of the day. And hopefully, I won't let y'all wait too long for the next one. Peace out, because I'm a Fury. I'm here, and now I'm out.